Hey there. I'm super happy you're here. You're listening to a podcast about stuff, and it's starting right now. Welcome to the Simple Midwest. What's up, and welcome to the Simple Midwest podcast. This is episode number 1, and my name is Luke Carmichael. So, we're looking at each other. I can see you. We're back to back. We're face to face. Whatever you want to be, ear to ear. I might be in your car. I might be on your screen. I might be in your phone. I don't know where I am, but I am really happy to be hanging out with you. This podcast is going to be something that is simple, but kind of random. I'm not really sure where we're going to go with it, to be honest, at first. I kind of just wanted an outlet where I could talk about stuff. I would love to have guests on here. I would love to have creatives, business owners, entrepreneurs, skateboarders, rock stars, Zach Mayfield. There's a lot of people I'd love to have on here. But I thought I've been talking about it, thinking about it, all that kind of stuff, and we finally get to make it. I'm just here chilling, recording on my Blue Yeti microphone. You know, this might be on iTunes right now. You might be listening on iTunes, and I'm not even sure at the moment, I don't even know how to put this on iTunes. Yeah, I'm pretty tech savvy, but I'll figure it out. So today, I really don't have a lot on the agenda. I feel like each episode will probably have a few topics we talk about, whether that be video games or film gear or, I don't know. This podcast is really for anyone who just wants to be entertained by some sort of thing. And if it's one day I'm talking about my Subaru car, maybe a Subaru fan will be like, ooh, I want to listen. But if one day I'm talking about the Canon C200, someone else might be like, ooh, I don't know. So each week, I think we're going to talk about different things. These are going to be around 30 minutes long, probably. But I'm not sure. Today, I'm going to talk about myself. I want to let you guys know who I am, what I do, what my life's all about, all of those non-interesting things. And then next week, we'll get into all kinds of stuff. I'm going to try to make these weekly. I don't know. We'll see. I'm a pretty busy guy, so sometimes this might not come in. But it's just like, what is it? It's like 9:30 on a Monday right now. So if I do it at that time, that's not bad. So let's get into it. My name's Luke. I live in Columbus, Ohio, over here in the Midwest. That's why it's called the Simple Midwest. I love living in the Midwest. I was born and raised here. I was born in Grove City, Ohio. Just this little town. It's actually not that little anymore. I think like 500,000 people live here. That's probably wrong. You can comment and tell me it's wrong if it is, but a lot of people live here. It's growing. I live right outside of Columbus, so if you've never been to Columbus, Ohio, have heard of it, Columbus, Ohio is right in the middle of Ohio, and then there's a highway called 270. It just goes in a circle around Columbus, and all around 270 are little suburbs that live outside of Columbus. But they're all like 15 minutes away from Columbus. So there's like Hilliard and Worthington and Dublin and all these places. But the funny part of it is everyone just says they're from Columbus. Even like I'm from Grove City, but I just tell people I'm from Columbus because it's easier. Like I'm from Grove City, it's 15 minutes from Columbus. People are probably like, I don't even know what Columbus is. So it's just a thing. But I've lived here my whole life. I'm 26 years old, I believe. And I've always loved it on this side of the country. I've done a lot of traveling because another fact is I am a filmmaker. I'm sure some of you know that, but I like to make films, and I've done a lot of traveling with making films, and I've done a lot of traveling just in general with my wife, which I'll talk about in a little bit, and I always miss home. Like, there's nowhere that's like, I could probably live here. This is the best thing ever. And it's funny because people don't really like Columbus, Ohio because of its weather. We're known for having for instance, it was negative 20 degrees. The wind chill was negative 20 degrees last week. And today it was like 65 degrees in the middle of winter. It's just Ohio weather. And weather doesn't bother me. It just feels like home here. There's something homey about it. It's easy to get places. Parking's not that expensive. I don't know why that's important or why I said that. But I love Ohio, and I always think I will. But I do like to travel with my wife. My wife's name's Allie. We met this year. It'll be 10 years since we met. We got married on March 7th, 2015. So we've almost been married for 4 years. And, oh, man, I love her to death. She's my favorite person. She's upstairs right now watching TV. She's probably watching The Bachelor. Shout out to all those Bachelor fans out there. And she's the best. She supports me in everything I do, all my crazy ideas, all my crazy thoughts, all the hours and hours of things I work on. And I film weddings, so I'm gone a lot, and she's always there for it. It's awesome. She's the best. We've been married for, like I said, almost 4 years. We dated for a long time before we got married, and I just love her. I love everything about her. I could do a whole entire podcast about how much I love Allie, but maybe we'll make one of those closer to Valentine's Day. We'll see. Anyways, we got Allie here living, but we also have a little pup. His name's Hubert. It's like his real name's Huey, but we call him Hubert, Hubu, whatever you want to call him. His original name was Woody, but then we changed it to Huey. I like Huey better. So anyways, we got me, Allie, and Huey. That's who lives here. Allie's amazing. She is, like I said, I could talk about Allie all day. But Huey is our little dog. We're not really sure what he is. He actually ran into our house one night and then just made himself a home here, and we've just kept him ever since, like legitimately. I'll tell you that story another time, but our little pup, he's cool. His name's Huey. So me, Allie, and Huey. That's who lives here. It's fun. We're a cool little family. We're the Carmichaels. Like I said, I'm a filmmaker. I film weddings. I like to film mini docs and documentary style films. I like to tell stories. That's kind of my thing. And most filmmakers do. But I really like to tell a real good story. Just raw. Just have someone really explain something in their life or something about them or a story about them. I like to tell that through video. It's one of my favorite things to do. And one cool way I get to do that is through wedding films. We film weddings. I have a business called ALC Productions. And that's just a small business ran out of my house. And we film weddings. We do like promotional videos. And then I also work at Covenant Church because I am a believer. I love Jesus. Whoop. Thanks, Jesus. You rock. And I work at a church, and I do all the videos there. And that's where I kind of get to tell more stories of the people in the church, which is really cool, just to see what God's done in a lot of people's lives, what God does for them currently. It's just, there's so many stories to be told, and that's one of my favorite things to do, and I get that outlet when I'm working at Covenant. And then I also get to tell people stories, like documenting big events in people's lives, like someone getting married. Getting married is a big deal, so the fact that I get to document it, but not just film it, like this isn't like your old school wedding film. We actually go and we film with like 3 or 4 different cameras, and we have lots of audio and visuals. It's really cool. There's a whole lot of stuff that goes into it, but oh my gosh, it's so fun. And one of my favorite things to do is make friendships with the couples. So we're able to just, jive off each other and then become really close friends. I get to film the biggest day of their life. And then whenever I give it back to them, the reaction that they usually have is one of my favorite parts of making films, because I really want to make films that are meaningful, that are timeless, films that when you look at them in years and years from now, you're just like, oh, man, I love the story of our life, or I love the story of this or that. And that's one of the things that I really like to do. I really like to make people smile, and there's a lot that goes into it. Filmmaking is a part of my life. It doesn't define who I am, but it is something that is in my blood. It's something that I work really hard to do every day, and I think it's fun. So that's why I like to talk about it, and that's why I make YouTube videos on the side, and why I'm making this podcast, because I want to talk about filmmaking, but I don't want it to be all work. I want to have some play, because I also, moving to the next thing, is I love playing video games. I think video games are such a cool pastime, and for me, I'm always in this digital realm of making films, or on social media, or editing. I'm always on a computer. So when I play video games, I feel like I'm in a different realm of reality, or it's like taking a break from the world for a little bit, which might sound depressing, but like I'm not depressed, or I'm a very happy person. It's just nice to take a break from reality for a little bit, just have your mind completely focused on something else. So you can just play a video game, be on there with your friends, and just have fun for like a couple hours. It's really cool. So it's one of my things I do it's like therapeutic to play video games when I get a chance to. I try my best not to do it too much, because it's very easy to get addicted to gaming. So my favorite video game is Destiny. Oh my gosh. I might start another podcast eventually about Destiny. It's such a good game. Oh my gosh. In Destiny, In Destiny 1, I put 720 something hours in, and that's not even like crazy compared to some of the other guys that play it, but that's a lot of hours. And then in Destiny 2, I think I've put in like, I don't know, more hours than I'm proud of. I think like three to 400 hours already. That game's only been out for like 2 years. So I play a lot of Destiny. It's really fun. I'm totally going to probably talk about it on one of these episodes, and it's a really fun thing to do. I love Destiny. I love to just talk about it. I like talking about it with people, though. That's a tough thing to do solo podcasting on because it's cool to like go off of each other's opinions on if a DLC was good or if it was bad or if gameplay updates. There's all this stuff you can talk about. And that's what me and Travis, who was my co-host on The Coolest Gamers, we used to talk about video games, and we talk about Destiny a lot because Travis actually got me into it. So maybe I'll get him on here some week and we can talk about Destiny. Oh, I love Destiny. Such a good game. But I love video games. I love playing them. I'd love to stream on Twitch eventually. I think streaming would be really fun. So, yeah, I love video games. I'm a filmmaker. I've got an amazing family. I'm from Columbus, Ohio, a.k.a. Grove City. I work at a church. And then, some of the things I like to do for fun is me and Allie, we just got a Subaru Forester Sport, and we got a tent that goes on top so we can sleep on top of it. We're actually road tripping out to California soon, and we really haven't camped much in our marriage, but we really like the idea of adventures and going out and being in the wilderness and just being out and about doing stuff. So we really like to do that. I'd like to say that we like to run. Some days I don't like to run, but there's these weird spurts where me and her want to just run. We ran a marathon once together, and that was a really incredible experience. And other than that, I'm not really the most interesting person in the entire world. I consume a lot of content, probably more than I should. I could probably tell you who my favorite YouTubers are. I think my favorite YouTuber right now is Levi Allen. I'm a total fanboy for him. I think he's amazing. If he ever listens to this, that'd be great. I would actually love to have him on here. Like, not even just talk about filmmaking. I'd like to talk about life with that dude. I feel like it'd be fun. I love Casey Neistat. That dude's revolutionary. I love Peter McKinnon. Maddie Hapoya. I like Maddie Hapoya's brother. And obviously, I got to hit up my local dudes. I love Makel. He's awesome. I love Jason Dilly. He's awesome. I love Zach Mayfield. He's a BFF for life. Boo. I don't know why I did that. That didn't actually mean anything. And, yeah. There's probably a million more YouTubers I like. I just can't remember. I watch a lot of YouTube. So I don't watch TV often, but I do watch so much YouTube. Probably more than I should. And that's where I get a lot of my entertainment. Me and my wife, we like to watch Netflix. I think my favorite TV show ever is Breaking Bad. Such a great show. Cinematography's insane. Close second is A Handmaid's Tale. That show is, oh my gosh. If you like filmmaking, you should watch that show. It's kind of messed up. It's actually really messed up, the whole premise of the show. But the cinematography in that show is unreal. Like, it explodes my mind. And I talk about it so much that it, like, impresses Allie now, which I'm proud of that. We like to bring Huey out on walks sometimes. We have a dog park near our house, so we bring him. He's like the fastest dog I've ever seen. That dude can run so fast. It's kind of mind-blowing. I have some goals I have some goals for this video itself. Like, it's going to be on my Luke Carmichael channel. I also have a channel for ALC Productions, which is my business. It's where I make my money. But this channel here is small right now, and I have a lot of goals for it. Like, I'd love to make one video a week, video-wise, and I'd love to make one podcast a week. And I want to make videos that are meaningful. I don't want to just make stuff to make stuff. Like, I've tried that, and a lot of the time it kind of just turns into just crap. I want to make stuff that's somewhat entertaining to someone, because, like, I try my best to be humble, and I, like, don't feel like that I'm going to be the most entertaining human to everyone, and I don't want it to be in my mind. I just want to be myself. And if a couple people watch, I'll be a happy camper. I just like to make stuff. Making stuff is like, it's so good. So Levi Allen, one of my favorite YouTubers, he always says life's better when you make stuff. And that is so true. The hardest part is making this stuff, because I like to be happy with what I make. So whenever I make this, for instance, I feel pretty happy right now about making it. Or if I make another YouTube video, or if I'm making a wedding film, or I'm making a mini doc or promotional video, I want to make sure it's really good, because if it is really good, that'll make me happy inside. Whenever I get stuff done, like just getting these videos done, like when this is finished and I stop and I press the stop button, I'm going to be like, oh man, that feels good. Once I press that export button on Final Cut, also, I'll tell you this in a second, but when I press the export button in Final Cut and then press upload and then publish on YouTube, it's like a really fulfilling thing. And I don't really know how to explain why it's so fulfilling. It's just something that makes me, I don't know, happy inside. And maybe it's a creator thing, maybe it's a human thing. I don't know. We could probably talk about it for a while. But that leads me to something you might want to know if you are a filmmaker or editor. I do edit in Final Cut Pro. That's my preference. I've been editing in Final Cut Pro for like 8 years now. I started in Avid Media Composer 5. That is an interesting software. I then taught myself Final Cut Pro because I did not like Avid Media and Composer 5. And then I'm very proficient in Adobe Premiere. I just don't use it because I've purchased a lot of presets and stuff for Final Cut, and I think Final Cut is just simple and clean, and it works really well. It's like optimized for Macs. I'm a Mac fanboy. I'm an Apple fanboy. Oh my gosh, I love Apple so much. I got a MacBook right here and an iMac there, and I get every new iPhone that comes out. I'm pretty lame, but I do love Apple. I think they're cool, and they've been revolutionary in technology, and it's been cool to kind of see that because I'm only 26, so the iPhone came out when I was in like high school, I think. So we've kind of just got to see it slowly progress, and it's been really cool. So that's me. That's who I am. This podcast is going to be just me spilling out my guts about different things, cameras, video games, microphones, simple stuff. I like to call myself a minimalist. I'm not like Craig Adams minimal or the minimalist documentary minimal or Matt D'Avella minimal. I'm like minimal to the point where I don't have a lot of stuff. I still have stuff that I probably shouldn't have, but we try to stay clean and decluttered, and just my house is really minimal. When it comes to my camera gear and my filmmaking life, that's a different story because I probably have too much gear. It's either you have too much gear or you don't have enough gear. That's kind of how it always rolls, and that's where we kind of lie. So anyways, if you've made it this far in the podcast, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for, listening to me talk for close to 30 minutes. What has it been? 19 minutes. Wow, I feel like I've been talking for like 5 hours. It's kind of hard when you talk by yourself. I don't talk by myself that often, but it's kind of therapeutic. I kind of like this. I am definitely going to get I'm definitely going to get guests on the show. I'm definitely going to upgrade this mic, I think. I'm using the Blue Yeti. It's a good starter mic. And I think I got it for like $50 like 2 years ago. And it's black, and I like black and white stuff. Thank you so much for letting me just talk and chat and listening to me speak about random stuff about myself. And this podcast might just be random stuff. It might not be random stuff. But the cool part is it'll be me just expressing myself in different ways, which is different than when I'm working with ALC Productions or if I'm working with my church. There's always somebody I have to do something for. Things have to look a specific way. That's just how it works whenever you're working for someone. But with YouTube and this podcast and creating things for myself, the cool thing about them is nobody can tell me how they look. I mean, you can comment on this and say it's ugly or it doesn't make sense or it's boring, and I honestly don't care, because I'm happy when I get to make these. And that's kind of how this whole creative journey is going to be outside of my professional field. Like, this is where I can kind of just express myself and experiment and kind of figure out exactly what kind of random stuff I want to talk about, or random stuff I want to show, or random YouTube videos I want to make. There's so much to it. And that's the beauty of, doing some creative things or creativity on your own in different outlets. I don't know. That's just me rambling, but it's fun, and I'm excited for this whole experience. I'm so thankful that you guys are listening. If there's no one listening, hello, no one. It's nice to meet you. I'm just kidding. All you guys have an awesome day, night, morning, evening, whenever you're listening. If you're having a horrible day, I hope that it's better. And if you're having a great day, go find someone that's having a bad day and help them make it better. I'm so thankful you're listening. If you want to follow me on, I don't know, Twitter or Instagram. My Instagram handle is Luke Carmichael 2. I think that my Twitter is Luke Carmichael 7. I tweet on there sometimes. But if you're watching this right now on YouTube, it'd be so awesome if you would subscribe and like this video and check out some of the other videos I make. I make videos about my car, videos about adventuring, all kinds of cool stuff. So check it out. You guys are super awesome. If this is somehow on the podcast app, thanks for listening. Write a nice review if you want. But I love all of you. You're just beautiful people. You're just beautiful. You're awesome. I'll talk to you later. Peace.